If you're struggling to make friends and getting people to like you more, you might think that you are not interesting enough or not good looking, or you might think that people don't like the real you. That's probably not the case. It's probably because you don't know how to properly and effectively interact with people and make genuine connections. And I used to be the same person. I didn't know how to make friends and I was very shy. I'm an introvert, so I was very shy and awkward around people, and it was very hard for me to make friends. But last year I was able to make a lot of genuine friendships, and it was because I learned a few tricks. I learned a few tricks through books and through experience, and I'm going to be sharing 3 of those with you guys today. But I do have something that I want to tell you guys before I share them, and that is to use them for genuine purposes, use them to make genuine connections, and do not take advantage of people. And with that being said, first of all, let's start with the first one. Now, there was this very big mistake that I was doing in the beginning. I see a lot of people do this as well, and in the beginning I thought I was actually impressing people by doing this, but it even felt great. Okay, it felt great and I thought I was impressing people, and what I was actually doing was I was repelling people with this, and that is by talking about myself. I was talking about my interest, I was talking about my passions, I was talking about different things about myself, and I felt like, oh, this person might get impressed because I'm talking about these different things about myself. But if you really think from the other person's point of view, if you just keep on talking about yourself all the time, and if you're not talking about letting the other person talk about themselves, then the conversation is very boring, right? We feel great, but the other person is not really feeling great. And I'm not really telling that you should not be talking about yourself and you should not be talking about your interest or anything. But what I'm trying to say is that if you talk about yourself all the time in the whole conversation, if you only talk about yourself, then that other person is not going to feel right. And some people even might feel jealous when you talk about yourself and your achievements, right? So instead of just talking about yourself and massaging your own ego, switch it around and let the other person talk about themselves. And we people like to talk about ourselves. It feels great, right? So make the other person talk about their interests, make the other person talk about their ambitions, make the other person talk about their problems, make the other person talk about their experiences and everything like that. Let the other person talk, and make sure that you become the listener. Make sure that you become the person that validates their ideas and makes them feel great. And there's this really nice quote from Maya Angelou: people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So ask genuine questions that spark their interest and get them to talk about themselves and validate their ideas and make them feel great. And I'm also not telling you to keep on asking questions all the time like an interviewer. I'm telling you to share your ideas as well, and that's a really great way that you can make people like you more by sharing your own things as well, which I will tell you in the second way. Now, we humans like ourselves a lot, right? We love ourselves, and what does that actually have to do with getting people to like us more? Now, to make you understand this a lot better, I'll ask you a question. When you look into a mirror, what do you see? You see yourself, right? And you love yourself. And another thing that we love is that we love people that are like us. So if another person has similar interests, similar values, similar experiences, or similar problems, or similar things like us, we tend to like them more. And we see ourselves, a part of ourselves in them, and if we see a part of ourselves, or if we see ourselves within them, we tend to like them more. And there's this really nice quote which says, birds of a feather flock together. So we tend to like people that are like us. We see ourselves in them, right? So we tend to like them more. So what you need to do is to mirror their similarities, mirror their interests, mirror their experiences, mirror their values onto them. And when they see you, they see a part of themselves and they like you more. Now, one of the best methods to make people feel great and like us more is by giving them genuine, heartwarming compliments. But the problem is, many people do this the wrong way. So for example, let's say that you're the type of person that compliments people a lot, right? I used to be this person because I know what happened, alright? So I used to be this person that kept on complimenting other people a lot. And what happens when you're complimenting a lot of the time is that you might feel that, oh, I'm complimenting this person and I'm making this person feel great all the time. But what happens is that it becomes normal to them, right? The first few times it might feel great, but after you keep on doing that, it becomes normal to them and they might take you for granted. So they, instead of them liking listening to your compliments, they might like to listen to people that rarely give them compliments, right? They might tend to like those type of people that rarely give them compliments. So instead of being a person that gives compliments all the time and looking needy and insecure, what you need to do is you need to give them compliments once in a while, but make sure they are genuine compliments. Compliment them on something hard that they did, compliment on something that really matters to them, compliment on something that they put a lot of time into. Also, another mistake that I see people do when they're complimenting is that they give fake and obvious compliments. All right, for example, let's say that you know this person that used to work really hard, but nowadays he's very lazy, and that person also knows that he's very lazy, and you go up to that person and you want something from him, and you say to this person, bro, you're working really great, I like your work ethic and stuff like that, and this person already knows you're lying and you want something from them, and it makes the whole thing suspicious, right? So instead of giving fake compliments, try to give genuine compliments. And another thing is that when you're talking to girls, we usually tend to give like normal boring compliments like you're beautiful, you're cute, but the problem is a lot of guys give these compliments and they're used to this, right? So try to give something like a rare compliment, something like complimenting their personality, complimenting their interests, complimenting their hobbies, complimenting their values, or something like that. Now you can also make the compliment sound like 10 times or even more better by just switching the words a little bit. For example, let's say that you want to compliment your friend that's wearing a great t-shirt, all right? So usually what we tend to do is that we say, bro, that's a great shirt, man. Or maybe something like, oh, I really like your shirt, man. And what you're doing here is that you're not complimenting the person. You're actually complimenting the shirt, right? But it will feel a lot better if you compliment the person. So instead of saying something like, bro, that shirt looks amazing, you could say something like, you look handsome in that shirt. And another thing is that people also like our names a lot, right? When someone says our name, we like it a lot. And so you can say something like, you look handsome in that shirt, Jake, or something like that. So try to use their name as well. Now there's also a really great method that you can give compliments indirectly, right? When we tend to give compliments directly, like face to face, when you try to give compliments, sometimes people might think that we want something from them and they might feel a little bit suspicious, right? So instead of giving them direct compliments, there's a way that you can give indirect compliments, and that way is to first of all find one of their close friends, and when you're alone with this close friend or when this person that you like is not with this friend, you can say good things about that other person. You can say, oh, this person is really amazing, he's working really hard. So when you say that indirectly, that other friend, that close friend, will go and tell it to the other friend, right? The friend you want the compliment to go to, that person will go ahead and say, oh, I met this person and he was talking a lot of good stuff about you. So it's an indirect compliment. So that's also a great way that you can give indirect compliments. Now another problem that a lot of us have is that we tend to make bad decisions because of emotions, right? But one of the things that can help you to take better decisions is critical thinking. And if you want to become a critical thinker, make sure to go ahead and check out this video where I explain you 3 effective ways of becoming a critical thinker.